Okay, hello team. I'm Harp Luther, your new assistant coach. So I also want to say, also I didn't say this to you guys, but I don't know how good I am. I think macro I have a pretty good nail down of. My micro coaching is probably not really good at all. I think a lot of my coaching, I would say most of my coaching is a perspective of what me as a tank player want out of my teammates. So just keep that in mind. There might be a bit of biases here and there. And obviously, I'm just your assistant coach, right? Like, my word isn't final. If your coaches have a disagreement with me and they say something over it, like, obviously listen to them over that, right? So, yeah, I mean, with that being said, Zarya comp, right? So we have the double bubble here. It's a very obvious synergy, but how does it play out with everyone else, right? I think the Zarya and Reaper kind of identify that obviously a big win condition is getting Zarya energy, right? Now, that doesn't happen immediately, right? So a lot of times you are going to be playing a little bit slower into other rush comps in general because what you want to do is you want to use your bubbles to get a lot of resources out. And then when you can push into them, either go in with another bubble or back up with another bubble, right? So that's a lot of your guys' job. Um, you have the toughest job here, Rally, in terms of because there's a lot for you to do. I think for now, just worry about sticking with your tank whenever they need you to speed, whenever they want to get sped in, or even your Reaper for that. Probably better stick with your Reaper a little bit more. They're going to be playing off of each other. But yeah, whenever you can, think about when you can take an angle with Maddie. Maddie, the win condition is the Reaper, but you probably have the most important job. So a lot of the brute pressure is going to come. Can you see that? Can you guys see my mouse, by the way?
No, you're sharing. You're sharing
Okay.
application,
I've
not
been like
screen.
circling shit and everything. Okay, hold on. Okay. So yeah. So yeah, you guys are kind of like it's kind of self-explanatory. I can go into more detail if you want. Rally, just really just stick with your Zarya. Okay, like I said, this is probably the win con, the energy and Reaper damage. You're the most important part of it. And the reason I say that is I really believe that a good tracer kind of plays like a scavenger. And a scavenger is kind of something like that eats off of dead prey, right? That's already dead. And your
A
job is,
vulture, kind
Maddie,
of.
yeah, exactly, right? And your job here, Maddie, is very important because you need to be in an angle that nobody else can almost support you in, right? Because nobody has the mobility like you do. So you need to be holding your own angle and cover. And then when resources are being forced out, you need to almost be the first one to capitalize on that, right? And it's going to feel really awkward because you're going to be playing a lot slower. But when it clicks together, it's going to feel a lot better. And then Rose, for you, um, you can honestly kind of bounce between your Zarya and your Tracer. If you feel like your Zarya doesn't, because realistically, you don't need to heal these guys 24/7. If you do, it's probably an issue on them. So whenever you can, try to see where Maddie is, and then try to play with a little bit of an angle. Like you can kind of play as an anchor between both of these people, right? Long term rally, I want to see you with Tracer more, but or with another DPS more, but we'll worry about that. So let's just start here, right? Let's just look at the first fight. So you guys go in here. We talked about this first round and what was the issue with it, right? So I think another issue as well is kind of like Zarya and Reaper. You guys felt like you never knew where each other went, right?
No, that was the issue of the third round. This round, we were just like we were a little disconnected on when going in versus when not going in.
So when you're
Like
going in versus not
third
going in.
round, yeah, third round was where I was like constantly losing track
So
of
you just
pods.
didn't know
This is
when
the
to go
round.
in, right?
I more so, I think we were out of sync on when we were going in, but
Okay.
effectively, yeah.
And I think the reason of that sync it comes from the fact that you guys don't know what your triggers are yet. Have you guys ever heard of the word tempo? I'm sure you guys have heard that word, right?
Yep.
Yes, no.
Tempo.
Okay, so don't think of tempo as fast and slow. I like to think of tempo as turns. So like whose turn is it to push? So like when it's your tempo, it's your turn to push. What are you guys gonna do when it's on your advantage? When it's their tempo, it's their turn to push, right? And you guys can dictate tempo off of cooldowns, right? A very, very big trigger when walking into teams is always going to be what cooldowns they use. So, for example, here, what do we think are some really good cooldowns that we can think as triggers? Like, oh shit, they use that. It's our time to go now. What do we think?
Uh, Suzu Nemesis form.
Suzu, Nemesis, Slide,
Amp.
Dash, Amp. These are all correct answers, right? Really, really good job. So, yeah, exactly, right? And I'm not saying wait for every single one of these cooldowns and then go in, right? Because that's going to be very unrealistic. I would say prioritize like one or two cooldowns that are really, really key. And when you see those, everyone knows, okay, chill the fuck out. We're not going to put pressure here. We're going to live, not go in anything. And after that cooldown's down, it is our turn to go. It is our time for our tempo and our push, right? So I think here, that might be what we're lacking. So let's just play this out here. So you guys have good space here, really good angle here, and then so let's see how you die. Yeah. So two things, right? There's no they use shield and slow, which are cooldowns, right? They're still cooldowns, but it's nothing like triggering to go off of, right? So I think when we're really waiting for our triggers, we want to be holding cover a lot more, right? You were just out in the open, and then you kind of got melted. I understand you want to like push in and use bubbles, but you guys, your comp is really much better in playing the slower paced game. Like using your CD is a lot slower than theirs, right? Not to the point where they walk on you and just run you over, because you also have to respect like backing up as you're doing that. And we'll get to that once we understand how to use cooldowns better. So really, just big issue here. We're just out in the open here when it's not our call of pushing in on something, right? So yeah. It's a good angle, Maggie. And also another thing, the way I like to coach, I don't really care about like mid-fight or post-fight. My objective is to get your pre-fight and the first few seconds of your fight perfect, because once those are perfect, that becomes completely different. How that makes your mid-fight and end fight look completely different, right? So
got it.
I mean, this fight is still going. Like, you guys could still win this. Really good job, Maddie. So something for you, Maddie. Like, you see how early you went in, and this is why you get pressured a lot more, right? Literally, if you sit in this corner here for 30 seconds and you never get the chance to push, that is not your fault. That is not on you. You're staged perfectly. You need to wait for your team to make a call. If they're calling like, I'm shooting this, I'm shooting that, then it's probably like, oh shit, it's time to go. But if they're really not making any calls like that, or they're calling like back up, like, you can literally just sit here and wait. So they're not pushing you guys, so it's fine if you're staying up here. I don't mind it. We force Suzu, we force them. Okay. We forced a lot of cooldowns here. Let's see what we do with that now. They run in our. So we're already on the back foot because we were down one. So yeah, you see what the problem is right now? We kind of like are a little sporadic in terms of what we want to do, and we're not able to capitalize on this, right? And I think the simple reason is that we didn't even think of doing that. And I'm sure you guys are like, I've heard you guys come. You guys are not clueless. Like, you know these are good cooldowns, and if you can force them, you guys should push on it, right? It's really just emphasizing that idea and really, really thinking about it more. And that's what I'm just gonna look through for the rest of this round at the very least, and then go from there.
Okay.
So Nemform and Suzu, those are like two big ones, especially Nemform. Nemform's a bigger one. Suzu can be hard to force out. That's unlucky. It's okay.
Sometimes Kiriko just hits shots. Oh, Megalol.
Oh, we're just backing up right
least
now.
it's hard. At least it's hard
nice
to hit shots now.
Okay, nice trade. Let's see what happens from your POV.
I mean, I think
so you see how
it's like, hey, though.
Yeah, have you noticed how you haven't died yet? So it's technically almost the same fight for you. Like, it's still the same engages, right? Look how much stronger you are now than when you were at the start of this round, right? And now they've used so they've used two CDs, right? I literally want you guys to just stand in this corner, don't move, and wait for these things to move. Because what's the worst that's going to happen if you guys like force walking in versus just waiting for these things out, right? When these things are gone, they are a lot more vulnerable, right? Like, things add up. Like, really having urgency and understanding of CD usage will be a huge, huge thing for your team play to be much cleaner and much more dominant. So wait this out, and then we go. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to look at your POV because I'm a brain dead tank player and I don't know how to look at other POVs. This is good. I like this. Really putting pressure on them here. This was really good from you, Maddie. And this is a good example to show what you guys did perfectly here, right? So let's rewind a little bit more. I want to see what other cooldowns were for. So you got Genji Dash out. We used Cleanse. They overextended. I think they used Cleanse as well, I'm pretty sure.
I didn't
No, they didn't use it just yet. Okay, so they didn't use it. They should have used it. That Lucy would have looked, but yeah. So yeah, even like, do you see how you didn't even force out two massive CDs? Like you forced out just two. Like they're pretty decent. I would put them at like B tier, but now you're able to push really hard because of it, and there's not as much pressure now, right? And what's the key thing behind this as well, right? Not all five people are looking at you. Why is that? Oh, look who's being a little annoying bugger, and then look who's not shooting in this lane, right? And this is the importance. I want you guys to really make the. This is the importance of your timing, right? Because Maddie, if you do this 3 seconds later, everyone here is looking at you. If you guys do this 3 seconds earlier than Maddie's ready, everyone here is looking at you. So really, the importance of angles is your timing with it. So this is really good job from everyone here. Let's see if we capitalize on it. Really good job. And then you guys win the fight. Yeah. Again, this is going to be a consistent theme now. And if you guys have any questions, you can always pause it.
I'm just like kind of forced cooldowns and held W at them, and they died.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah, basically.
That is it. I just had a match today, and we literally just called like their RAM just wastes CDs 24/7. We just punish that every single time. So let's see what happens here now. Okay, so we use a bubble. That's okay. Okay. So it's not really a waste from them because they're engaging, right? So we understand CDs that are good to force out or live at the very least. Like you don't have to force them out, but if you can live them, it's good. It's going to be Nemform and like something like Suzu, right? So when they're walking in like this, what can we do as a team to negate their value off of this?
Walk
Amp speed.
Amp speed where?
Amp speed out.
Back.
Back, right? Just back up, right? Holding space is very important. Living is more important. I'd rather you guys live and give up important space than die for important space. Because when you give up space, you have a chance to win. When you die, you have no chance, right? So, yeah, just gonna keep going here. So I think that's honestly what happens. It gets really, really messy, and it gets like really clustered, and there's a lot of shit that happens. And you guys end up winning this fight. Yeah, you guys end up winning this fight. I mean, fair enough. You guys end up winning this fight, but don't let it paper over the cracks, though. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
I mean, like literally, we probably.
Let's see.
You basically got a 3K pulse. To farther back.
Oh, is it further back?
Yeah. Farther. There we go. That's better.
I mean, yeah.
They're Kiriko and Ram kind of like, ooh, shiny thing, let me step on it.
I mean, you won the fight, so I'm not going to be too anal about it, but yeah, just keeping the consistency, right? Do you see why you guys were under so much pressure now, though? Like, you guys understand that now better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This time, I'm going to let you guys take over. I want you guys to kind of, like, just talk over things, what's going on in Lifetime, okay? So I'm going to forward a little bit. Yeah. That's fine. And then, yeah.
We get a good setup here, like despite them being here first, and we don't like try to overcommit onto point.
There's ult.
Yeah, we used ults like we would call them, and we're trading down one ult, but we get a kill, and then they use an ult, and we get 2 more kills, so we kind of just go L plus ratio.
So here's my question: they use their ults in a pretty decent spot. You guys didn't back up. But I'm not calling that out this time. Why am I not calling it out this time?
Because we used our ult to counter.
Ding ding ding. Yeah, right. Like you can either so there's 2 options, right? And there's really no wrong option. There's just what your option is as a team. Either when they Kitsune, kite the fuck out, and then walk back in after you use your ult. It's kind of like the CD trade-off, right? Once you lift that, then you go. Or you can just match it as well, right? You have the ultimates to do it. You don't have to give up the space so easily. It is good space, so if you can hold it with something and make it worthwhile, then go for it, right? So really, really good job on that. So yeah,
we kind of
this was much better.
And then let's just... we do that.
Yeah. So let's just see it from the start here again. So yeah, they waste shield, right? You're a little bit late here, Maddie, but that's okay. It's because you staged late. You recognize that, so it's fine. Yeah, really good beat from you, Raleigh. It's a good timing on that. Who is my Reaper? Okay, let's see this.
Obs, they're kind of in the middle of the Kitsune.
Oh,
That's
I'm
fine.
bouncing.
Just like
Spin
yeah,
terrain.
I'll talk more about this on third point because I think you guys kind of like pointed it out, so I'm not too worried about it right now. But yeah, again, you guys live their engages, really good beat. Honestly, this beat ends up winning it long term, and then you guys just live and melt the ram. Yeah, and like it's not rocket science, right? Like if you really pay attention to it, whichever team uses their cooldowns better and holds their space better, they just win fights, right? And you
Also,
guys did
I
that 2 times in a row.
Swished that right click onto the Sojourn. That was clean as fuck.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Yeah, you gotta go back a little bit.
Holy good, Chad. Fucking grab. I hope you teabagged him afterwards.
I didn't because I didn't want to be toxic in scrims. If I knew them,
yeah.
maybe I would.
So you had a nice right click.
Yeah, it's a little further ahead of us. It's when we
Okay.
chose the Soj off.
I will say, I was looking at your POV. You should right click more in general, especially when you have high energy.
I should. It has been a long time since I played Zarya. I'm a little out of practice.
It's fine. Oh, that is juicy.
Yeah, that one.
That was very nice. Yeah. So, yeah, so far so good. I'm pretty happy with kind of what I'm seeing and kind of just explaining. So yeah, we're just resetting here. I'm not worried about this. That grab, honestly, you were thinking about that grab. You weren't too confident, right? You were like hesitating on that decision.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
make your decision. I will tell you this 10 times out of 10, it is better to make a wrong decision than a hesitant decision. Because if it's exactly right, because the thing is, from a coach's perspective, it is so much easier to coach when you quickly make a decision or when you proactively make a decision and it's wrong versus you never making a decision. Like, I don't even know what could have been right or wrong because you didn't even do anything, right? So like, how can I coach that? But when you do the wrong thing, but you're proactive about it, I can be like, okay, so like this is good, you were proactive, but this is why it's wrong, right? So just be more decisive in your ults, and that's for anyone, right? That's not just a Zulu thing.
It has been a long time since Goats when I last really played Zarya.
Again, yeah. What's up? It's a
playing
pulse bomb. I'm not too worried about
who
that.
Cares? It's Pulse Bomb. That's how you use Pulse Bomb. That's objectively correct.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's okay. We'll go over it.
Like sometimes you just get a 5k pulse and you teabag the team.
Just more decisive about this. And then let's look at CDs here again, right? Shield, slow, Nem,
or
dead.
Stasis.
Like I know they're down 2 and stuff, but it's still the same concept. The only reason it happened that quickly is because it's emphasized more when you already have an advantage, right? There's no difference when there's 5 players for.
Does
exactly
not care about your like 80% damage reduction. I do not care. I will burn you.
And then this is kind of just clean up for them, isn't it? I don't really care about this fight. Unless we lose it, I'd be a bit concerned. Oh, we are losing. I'm getting concerned. What's going on? Okay, we got it. Oh,
we lost.
Okay, we got it.
Lost target focus is kind of how we almost trolled this fight.
We still end up winning the fight. I'm pretty sure.
Eventually, like
yeah. There it is. Nice point.
Yeah, they see 9. They see 9.
Okay. I'm gonna look at more micro stuff here. So, whose idea is to always go underground? By the way,
Hobbs. Technically, Hobbs saw some. Yes,
I stole it from someone, but
yes, Hobbs stole it from someone, and then we.
So this is my take with it, right? Bunkering is a really good idea in 6v6 because you have 2 tanks to really block off angles really hard. The issue in Overwatch 2 is that when you don't have that much sustain in HP, bunkering for a tight corner like this, it makes it a lot more stressful on everyone in terms of having to turn around and look, right? Because when you put yourself in here, it is very obnoxious for their team, but a team that's good is going to take an angle around here, and around here. And you guys have no angles anywhere, right? And it's very, you guys get put under very pressure. I'm not saying it's a bad plan, but I'm saying when you're making these plans, think about these things, right? And yeah, so just with that being said, let's just see how it works out. And if it works, it's because they're not doing it right or you guys are doing it right? So let's see. Okay, fire him. Okay. So let's see here. So you know what I thought the original plan was, and I think this would be pretty fire. You guys like stay here, kind of wait a few seconds and then run up these stairs and then just chase whatever's behind here, right? Because like if imagine you guys do that, look what's up here right now.
Oh yeah.
So
that's something you can think of as well, right? So just to think about, if you want to bunker here, that's fine. Just keep those things, but like walking up these stairs can be pretty juicy because these are the guys you want to end up getting to anyway, right? So just something to think about. So yeah,
I actually really like that idea.
So as a team, now you're on the venture instead of the tracer. How do you guys think this comp changes? And you're on the map as well.
A slightly tighter angle from Maddie, and outside of that, I don't know if it really changes a ton.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I would definitely agree with that, right? I think with the tracer, it adds a little bit of a hybrid to it, and it gives you a bit of more flexibility and options in terms of the way you guys want to pinch. I think this is a lot more, I would say, I know Venture's a new hero, but I would say this is a lot more traditional in terms of Brawl, right? Like what Brawl tries to do. You got heroes that have really good sustain. They want to get up close and personal. They want to really walk, right? So, and I think you guys figured that out in the second fight. So, my issue is when you guys are swapping comps 24/7, your brain is not holding enough information on the thing you're currently working on. So after each round, everything that you just learned gets thrown away and gets thrown away, gets thrown away. So my advice would be play like 2 or 3 comps. I would say just stick to 2 comps right now and really just hard work on those for like a few weeks. Because when you understand how to play a comp really well, you'll know how to play it against other comps. And then when you play other comps, you'll know how to play those comps because you've learned that stuff, right? So that's just my take. It's up to you guys how you guys want to do it. But yeah, just bunkering here. Let's see where we get to. And right, and like I'll point this out right now, and I'm not taking anything away. The reason they're struggling here is because they have no angles, right? You guys only need to worry about this direction. You don't need to worry about someone here, or someone here, right? And that does come as a threat when you play against those type of players. So it is just important to make sure we're scouting all the time, right? Like where are they? Where are they? Anyone can make that call, right? And everyone can scout.
Yeah, that's what I was doing at that point. Is I saw the tracer moving, and I thought she was coming back, and then she does. But I was already there waiting for her, so I was able to put a little bit of pressure on her before she.
So rally, by the way, when we're playing comps like this and they have a tracer, your DPS can't really match that tracer, right? So your job is to mark their tracer. And what I mean by mark is I don't want you to go fly to like third point of Nambani just to chase this tracer from here. All you need to do is make sure that this tracer is not annoying your teammates to the point where they have to turn around and look at her, right? As long as you can keep this tracer in check and make sure she's not a threat to anyone, that's solid. That's all we need from you. So just something to think about.
Win the 1v1, you're goated, you've got this.
You won the 1v1 anyway, so that's fire.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we needed from you. So, again, what did Maddie say just a few seconds ago? We got to play this a bit tighter, right?
And then we sped right out.
How tight are we playing, boys? Boys and girls? Ladies and germs?
We are more than all over the place. There's a step or two beyond that.
Right? And I think, again, just like the purpose, right? And I think where I'm trying to get at is, like, why is the split happening? It's happening because we don't know our purpose, right? What is our team good at? Playing Brawl, right? We kind of established that we want to play a bit tighter. Well, let's think about CDs as well. What CDs are good to force out against their team? It's basically the same thing. Okay. The only change was from Ram to Diva. So what changes here?
DM and
they're a lot more mobile.
They are a lot more mobile. That is true. What can we do to negate that mobility?
Stick a little closer together. Honestly.
Stick a little closer together, right? They have more mobility, right? So they probably want to take angles around you better. So don't we think the longer we wait for that, the better it is for them?
Yeah,
because I know what I said. So remember what I said? It's better to play slower against rush comps, right? That was a key thing I said. If you guys remember that, against rush comps. If you're playing against comps like this, let's go faster, right? And there's a way to like be able to think about those things. I can always bring it up at some point, but it's a very, very tough concept, so I don't want to bring it up too early. But yeah, want to play faster than this, right? And I mean, basic Overwatch. You all know this. Like Zarya's Diva, like fucking shred this bitch. Go. Like the only thing, like the CD you need to worry about is DM. But one person doesn't even worry about that. So if you can just put an angle like a slight pitch from Maddie, like over here, and then everyone else just shooting from
where
me.
Ali is.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So just pressure that out. All right. So now that we know how to do that, let's see.
Girl.
Yeah.
Just win the 1v1, girl.
So yeah.
Just win
you
the 1v1,
guys end up losing
girl.
this fight because you're too split, and the more split and hectic their comp goes, the more likely they're gonna win. Okay.
No, it's just a 3-angle comp. It's really.
I think this was good. You guys were trying to make a rotate here, right? And
yeah,
I think someone called that this left side is good, right? So this is good. I'm really happy with this. So you see what's going on here. This is the problem, right? And Maddie, this is something you kind of suffer with a little bit. It's called DPS syndrome. It's hard tunnel visioning on something, right? There's two ways to think about this game. There's a top down and there's a bottom up. The top down. Yeah, go on.
Oh, hey.
Go on. That's very fair.
Yeah.
It's just about changing that mindset, right? So this is how you can maybe try to break that mindset. And this goes for everyone, right? There's two ways to think about the game: top down and bottom up. What do I mean by that? Bottom up yo, what's up?
Sorry, I was just like, that's just like front to back or back to front, like kill the supports first or kill the tank first, right?
No,
or is that a different concept? Different concept. Yeah. Okay.
So what I'm referring to is okay. So it's top to bottom is the top is how does the team win? How does the team win? And when you think about that, what can I do to help the team win? Like for the team to win, we need to walk. What can I do to help with that? Looking at it from a bottom up perspective is how do I get the most individual value? And I think in ranked, that's a great way to think about it, right? Because you're not really going to have that coordination. You're not going to have that tempo, that pace, stuff like that. It's really, really good to get your own value. When you're in a team environment, it's very important to think about what the team value is over yours. Because a lot of the time it will overlap, but there are times where it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. But you need to understand that you are playing the way you're playing because it is the best way for your team to win, right? So it's really, really important to think about it like that. Top down versus bottom up, right? So right now, we want to be rotating going in here, right? We're getting caught a little bit on rotation. We're getting a little bit distracted. I want to have more purpose in our rotates and where we're going and who we want to shoot, okay? You guys can literally sit here for 90% of the round if it takes you that long to do it. But until you do, I don't want you guys to just mindlessly be walking, okay? Because the quicker that
was a lot of words that followed.
Okay, I can tone it down. So TLDR of what I just said is
like I got the top down, bottom up
for
comp versus like team. It was like after that, my brain kind of shorted out a little bit.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so the top down here is wanting to rotate as a core and walk onto them, right? So we need to understand what we can do to do that. So we just got to be more disciplined, make sure we're walking, make sure we know where we're walking, right? And in order for us to do that, we need to sit here and figure that out, right? We need to figure out where we're walking, who we're going to walk on, and how we're going to do it. If it takes you guys 3 minutes, if it takes you guys, like, if you're on a 4-minute map and it takes you 3 minutes and 50 seconds to do it, I don't care. Do it, right? And again, I'm your assistant coach. If your other coaches don't agree with that, that's fair enough. But the key thing is having that purpose. Because once you get the habit of that, it's going to happen quicker and quicker and quicker. And it'll get to a point where you don't even need to think about it, right? So, yeah, just having that purpose and knowing what to do and where to go and when to do it, right? So, yeah. Again, so, yeah, you guys got caught on the rotation, and because of that, we kind of out, right? You probably also notice I'm not really looking at anyone's micro POV. It's a team VOD. I'm not really here to do that. Unless someone really fucks up, I'll look at their POV. And if you guys ever want to do a one-on-one, I can help out with that too. But yeah. So, yeah. I think a lot of this now is just going to be rinse and repeat. I think we've kind of gone over the main points I wanted to look at. So we're rotating here now, so it's much, much better. This is exactly what we want, right? They're not really taking aims on us. It's a lot harder to stack. We get the kill first. It gets straight out, unfortunately. Probably some micro mistakes, but this is what I want, right? What's up?
question, like solo grabbing the Kiri there, like how is that as a decision? Because I kind of saw her alone. I'm like, I'm just gonna grab her. You can't.
I mean, it's a decisive one, right? I think the issue here, I think the issue more than anything here is probably just target focus. And what I mean by that is not the calls, but the actual paying attention and looking at those things. I think a lot of times in mid fights, you guys kind of lose focus, and that's kind of something we got to figure out as a team what we're gonna do to fix that. And I think this is a good example of that because you guys killed your Kiri first, and you don't use a lot of CDs for it. Like you use Grav, granted, that is a big one, but you guys still like this is. You guys should be really, really sailing from here on out. Okay. So like my issue right now is that it took about 30 seconds for me to see someone in the Zarya's POV. So like everyone else was doing their own shit. Oh, Maddie, I remember this. This was very unfortunate. I spoke to you about this. But yeah. Everyone was kind of doing their own thing, right? I'm not sure whether Reaper or... Yeah, what's up? I think it's just... So very, very quickly, it's kind of understanding your limits. Like, how far can I go without dying, right? And you kind of go here to take a risk. And you took a risk, right? As DPS players, that's what I want. But... now you understand that this risk, what's wrong with this risk is that you're going on your own with 1 HP and you have no help as well, right? So calculating the risk versus reward, and hey, if you make it work as a DPS, you make it work, right? I can never, there's nothing wrong with relying on your mechanics, but just always having a mindful of like calculated risks, right? So that's kind of it. And yeah, biggest issue here is you guys played the pre-fight perfectly. The mid-fight is the issue here this time around, where there's just a lack of focus and lack of like stacking together, right? And the more you play this comp, the more you're gonna have repetition of that. So that's why I really, really want to see. I would like to see you guys do that, like play this comp a lot more, regardless of how it's going or how it's feeling. If it's a comp you guys want to commit to,
I think we should commit to this, and we should commit to the Winston Diva dive.
Yeah,
I think those should be our big two. Because like the problem is like playing this comp on like Parariso or Nambani is such a sad moment. Like it is, good, it's right? Not just a feels bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You did call this. You call this salt. Honestly, the fact that you called it is like enough for me to shrug and be okay with it. Like as long as you call it, I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, we called it.
Yeah, like I said, there's no such thing as a bad plan if all 5 of you committed to it, right? I was gonna say like you guys want to deny their angles, right? Don't you think it would be easier to deny their angles in here than out here? Because like once you give them this room, they can stage from here, they can stage from here, but like this is like small tight room, right? You guys want to play tighter. This is a really tight room. This is exactly your playing ground, right? So you guys can like try to hold here for next time.
That doesn't make sense, yeah.
Oh, good job. I see you looking at those. Yeah.
I don't think it worked, which is the only reason I would question it in post.
So the reason it didn't work is because you guys are just not committed enough to it. Like, yeah, if you guys are doing this, I need everyone inside here at this point, like deep inside here. Like, there's no
Hobbs. Where are you?
What I'm chasing a tracer is what I'm doing.
Okay, and that's fine. And that's fine. Now you know not to do that.
I know not to do that.
Now we know, right? That's this little bugger's job, this person.
Not like I did earlier. But no. That's not no. That's just not a chasing situation.
I was like in the moment, I was like, that felt like it was shaping up to be a lot bigger ult. No wonder that didn't work. And now I realize it's kind of just me, Maddie, and like partially Allie working on that ult.
And even then, you guys are kind of half-ass doing it. I can't lie. Like you're barely even engaging on this. Like someone should be here at this point. Someone should be here at this point. Like just taking a hard angle. And I will say, in terms of chasing the tracer, I get why you did it. I think the best advice I can give, if you want your teammates to improve, do not cover for their mistakes. If their tracer is not being marked, that's not your issue as a Reaper, right? That's not your problem. You don't have to deal with that. We look at it.
The problem is if you go cover for
then someone has to cover me.
Not marking the tracer, then Maddie has to cover for you not dealing the damage, and I have to cover for Maddie.
Kind of like snowballs into it, right?
And then Rose has to try to cover for me being out of position, and it's a whole mess.
And as a coach, it's much easier to point out whose fault is it. So like right now, like yes, it's not good that you're here, but ultimately you're doing this because Rally's like over here. And I also do think, remember what I said, the key thing is like just making the tracer fuck off, right? Like making her useless. She's useless down here. We don't need to chase this, even if she's low. Like, the threat is wrong.
She's used 2 blinks and she's half HP. She is not a threat.
The threat leaving is more important than killing her. Because now that the threat's gone, your team, remember, top down. Yeah. Now you're top down, right? Your priority. What's the best way to win as your team? And for you, it's to be in their faces all the time, right? So just really thinking about that. Big takeaway from this fight is hold a bit deeper. Do not cover for your teammates' mistakes. It's not your problem, it's theirs. And trust your coaches that they will call that out. I hope we kill this Kyrie.
I think we don't get the Kyrie because she TPs to like a different angle than we were expecting. But we get the deep mech, which
and don't be afraid to commit to your teammates' calls. Okay, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to lose the fight and go next. Okay, big whoop.
And then the coach yells at the person that made the call because it was their fault.
No, not necessarily. It could be a good call. It could be a bad call. You'll never know if not. You'll never know if all 5 of you commit, right? Like, how am I going to know if I made the right or wrong call if not everyone's committed to it?
Yeah.
But I mean, if you've committed to the call, you are not making a bad decision alone, at least. So
yeah, exactly. I'd rather you
this
guys
this is where we really talk over the comms that me and Hobbs are more on the same page going into this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only problem with this point is like I find myself trying to find Hobbs a lot.
And I think and
honestly,
I want to see this from your
POV. That might help. I mean, like theoretically, yes, but honestly, like in Scrim, who gives a shit?
How long has this recording been, by the way?
Like 45 minutes, I think, roughly.
45 minutes, okay.
It might be a bit long on that. It might be closer to like
40,
like 40, yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. I can look at.
I think we started at like 10:40, 10:30, yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's been like 40 minutes roughly. I shouldn't be reloading there. Why am I reloading there? What the hell?
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, you don't need to reload.
But like, there you go, right? Like, that's what I'm talking about. You have your purpose and you're walking onto something, right? It doesn't matter who it is. I don't care if it's a good call, bad call. Just make a call, right? And you guys are doing that. Unlucky bubble, but yeah. Look how much more you pressure them. And like, my thing is like, why stop here, right? Like, you have bubbles, you have energy, you have space. What are you scared of? You can keep going here. You can always like call the backup when you need to, right? So, backline, that's something you guys can be really good at as well, right? You guys can call when we can push in, when we can back out, right? Really, really important on backline. You guys can hard carry fights by calling up tempo, so don't be afraid to do that either, okay?
Hard carry is calm, thumbs up.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. If you so here's the thing with that, right? When you get kills, you're probably trading resources, right? When you get a kill, do you need to win the fight in the next second? No, right? Just take a second. Yeah.
Like my thought process there was like, well, I feel like there's only 2 scenarios in which that happens. One in which we're already pushed in, which gave you the space to get the pick, and 2 where you can then just like recall out and we can be like, okay, well, we traded a life for our tracer's recall. Like, yes, the recall's a huge cooldown, but it's not as cool as big as like their Baptiste's life. We can just wait. We don't need to act on this.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, you can be so there's 2 things with that, right? Stone Cold Killer, you gotta kill, keep your composure, keep your cool. They're on the back front now. They're on the back foot right now, right? They're on the back foot now, right? You don't need to do anything. At the same time, have a little bit of urgency. I don't want you guys to be, we gotta kill, we can wait like 30 seconds and then go, right? Let's keep composure, but let's have urgency. Okay, I'm chilling, but when can we go? Because we should go as soon as we can, right? So just having that balance, okay? So, Maddie, if you want to call pushes as well, because you have a good angle, you can do that as well, right? Don't be afraid to do that. I don't know what your guys' comm structures are, but as a tank player, there's nothing more I love than my TPS telling me what to do, because it makes my life and my decision making so much easier. So, yeah.
Yes, like I feel like sorry. I feel like a lot of the comm structure problems we've had outside of not focusing the target we're calling is oftentimes I'm trying to fight plan ult track target call, And if we can distribute those responsibilities a little bit, that
bullshit.
would be kind of huge.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's not fair on you.
Ali usually takes care of our all chat.
I'll keep note of
True,
that for
Ali
next time
does
if I'm here.
Ali actually.
Yeah, I just defer that to Ali.
Yeah. I think in this comp more than any other though, like Hobbs, you should be trying to call the target.
Yeah,
because like you are like as much as like Beam go burr, Reaper also go burr, and Reaper's probably
Reaper
actually be in front of me in the comp. Just call a cooldown. Yeah, call the cooldown. If we don't walk on it, that's kind of our fault, or there's some extenuating.
So comms is a whole other topic. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to sway too far away from this. We can talk about it after this, but I want to keep to this right now. Okay. So purpose here is we do big damage on Big Diva, and Big Diva fuck off, right? And we want to play tighter because we have the Reaper, right? We still want to play tighter because they have the Echo, and the Echo takes more mobility than the Reaper, right? And the Tracer cancel out each other in terms of mobility. So really want to play for tighter angles and be pressuring a lot more and a lot quicker, right? So let's see how we do on that. And we do it really, really well here. Really, really fucking well. This is easily your guys' best fight and best hold from what I saw. Because it had purpose, it had structure, and you guys did it as a team. And it was just really good all around. Yeah, a little bit of split here, right? A little bit of split here. Just keep that in mind, Rose, that you are going to be probably one of the bigger targets. Rally, you're probably going to be the biggest target. Like, you should be the biggest target because you're the most killable. So just keeping an eye on that. Maddie, you as well, low-key, might be a big target because Rally's not playing with you. So just keep that in mind as well. But yeah. So, yeah. Yeah.
I have never heard you make that call.
She doesn't say double. She's never said double. I've never heard double.
Okay.
I've heard Ali double me. I've heard that.
Okay.
Like,
yeah. I've heard
probably
that
5
too.
or 6 times. I'm like, yeah.
So Maddie, I don't get me wrong, right? Playing with your Lucy Tracer, you control lanes a lot better. You can hold off people a lot better, and you can kill. You have a lot better potential, right? Let's go back to that concept we were talking about, right? Top down, bottom up, right? That definitely is your best value, right? How does the team win? The team wins by walking W into them, right? So I think my suggestion is that the Lucio tries to stay with whenever she can help, but whenever Zarya wants to go, Zarya's priority to walk for it, right? So what can you do for that, right? Because it feels a little bit awkward. As simple as it is, living. That's literally it, right? Because what they want to do, they want to dive. If you can hold off 1 or 2 people, like you don't have to kill them, right? Remember what I said? You want to mark the Tracer where she's not a threat, right? If you can just hold this corner and just annoy them and bug them, but never get forced out, your team is more likely to win and push. And remember, if you're doing that really well and your team's not winning, not your problem, right? Not your fault. We look at other people and point the finger at them for what's going on. So I think kind of what happens here is we kind of lose focus of our directness, so it kind of gets a little bit scuffed, and again we get very split, right? Every time you guys get split without fail, you guys lose fights. Look at this.
True.
Yeah.
Every single time. Because they're better at it than you, right? I'm not saying this is going to happen all the time, every time, but because of their comp, this is going to happen all the time, right? And there's ways to be able to think about that. I'm just not going to bring it up tonight because that's a very hard concept to bring up very short term or short notice. So yeah, you guys are eventually going to lose this. You get forced out, yada yada yada.
Because I'm cool.
Yes sir, yes sir. I was about to say a Samoa in Peru, and then I realized what I was about to say.
Samoa in Peru.
Guys, this is the guy you guys take advice from. That's crazy. So again, really good rotation here. Really good rotation here. Small space, right? Small corridors. This is what you want.
Yeah.
This is about to get very scuffy woofy. So let's kind of just see from here what's going on. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we started, all of a sudden we became obsessed with this high ground.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we can accept this high ground because the Lucio was on it, and then we're like, hey, high ground's kind of cool.
let's walk the Lucio.
Yeah.
And then the boom.
So again, like same thing. Like I'll rewind, but I don't need to. I think you guys know what the problem is here, right?
Yeah.
You guys are. I mean, but why though? So like, why does that happen? No. I mean, you guys tell me what goes wrong here. At what point does it go wrong?
We drop when we have drop. Here. We split.
Like when Maddie and Hobbs drop, and then the supports and I.
That's the key thing, right? You guys split up. That's every time you guys have split up against this comp, you automatically lose, right? Every single time without fail, and that's no coincidence. When I say split, yeah, go on. I wouldn't think about it as longer range. I would think about it as just you having more mobility. So when I say split, I don't really count you as that. If anything, I would have an issue if you're stacking on our team. Yeah, it was our Reaper more, right? Our Reaper was dropped too early.
This was me. So. I dropped and didn't call that I was dropping.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, I am shooting people on high ground, and I'm sure happy my Reaper's with me.
Yeah.
Not realizing my Reaper was on the other side of point.
So the thing is, the longer the fights go, the harder it is to stay together, right? That's with any team, even like the top teams. Yeah. So every time you get a kill, or every time something big happens, or you take some kind of space, try to use it like a checkpoint, right? Take a second, cover. Cover's going to let you be able to do that. If you're not in cover, you're going to get exploded. You won't have time to think about that, right? Look around, you see what's going on, ask questions. Hey, can we go on this? Can we push on this? Yada, 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 right? So, yeah. And then, yeah, you guys just
boom,
lose.
I go down, and then that's just a...
Yeah. Could have won it. Unlucky that they had beat, but that's okay.
We called winnable, and as soon as we called winnable, I'm like, okay, there's 4 people in front of me. I'm going to yeet this grab at their nuts.
Yeah. I think you guys were down 3 at that point, so it was a pretty bold call, but that's okay. They did use a lot of CDs as well, so let's go back here. See what's going on.
So I called my drop this time.
That's good.
You did, and I followed you, but then I lost track of where you went.
Yeah, so this is another thing, right? This is the thing that can be really, really annoying. It's like, so it's something that I deal with. I need to call. I'm gonna drop this way. I'm gonna walk this way. I'm gonna chase this way. If shit hits the fan, I'm gonna kite this way. I'm not saying you have to do all that, but whoever is making the calls of where you want to walk or where you want to go in a direction, try to be as specific as possible, because like it's a very honest mistake, right? Like this can just happen. Like that kind of pinch, and then you don't see each other.
I heard the dupe, and then I called that we wanted to just drop ASAP.
Yeah, we do unify on the duplicate. That's pretty nice.
And then we just got pummeled by it.
Yeah, when you
win this fight.
So the problem here is that you guys kind of make an awkward pinch a little bit, right? So I'm just kind of I don't even know how this fight goes, but I'm just saying right now, like it's a little bit awkward here, right? So just calling like very thoroughly where you're going, and then rest of the team, you guys can see each other through walls. You don't need to you're allowed to turn left and right. It's like, don't be stiff, right? Look around, see what's going on around you, right? It's not all on that one person, but whoever is that person, try to call that. So I don't think you got bubbled once for any of your blossoms, did you?
I literally bubbled in there.
Yeah, I was bubbled.
Oh, did you? One. Okay, good.
Yeah,
yes.
Because I took damage and then I took a bubble.
Okay, that's my bad. Yeah, you did.
Oh, sorry, my bad, Hobbs.
Yeah, the only fights that you win when they get messy. Yeah, the only fights that you guys win when they get messy are A, if someone mechanically pops off, or B, you guys just ult, right? And you had an ult advantage. You guys used I think you used Blossom and something else.
I was just saying that's
Blossom and Pulse.
Blossom and Pulse, yeah, and they only had copy.
It's okay. No, it's okay. That literally does not matter. I have the bubble back already, like pretty much, and it didn't matter. Like I was just, I wasn't sure if you had recall, so I'm like, I'm just gonna bubble you in case, kind of here, kind of a just for safety angle.
Oh, she missed, and then that tracer whiffed.
So, question here: what's wrong with this? What's wrong with the symmetry?
Either
that's definitely an issue.
And then either Hobbs is too far forward or I'm too far back. One of the two.
I'm at a really bad angle.
Are we split right now?
Yeah, I would.
A little bit.
Yeah.
We're kind of like we're hot dog mode, which is.
Are we ready to walk on something? Do we think we're ready to walk on something?
No,
absolutely not.
Now so here's the thing.
So here's the thing, right? You guys are defending. Why are you guys not ready, right? And I think that it's a little bit because of this guy. You guys get a little bit distracted. I want you guys to have purpose, right? Purpose. We want to walk on the Zarya. We want to put pressure. The more space we hold up, the harder it is for them to push, right? So let's try to hold as close as possible. Get over here, right? Hold these chokes. Let them walk in, right? Don't dilly dally around here. Leave it to this guy. It's this guy's job. If they're not doing the job, call them dog shit and then GG go next, right?
Wait, this one isn't my fault. Yay!
I think this is everyone's fault. I think this is everyone's fault because nobody's set up for them to walk in. So as a team, you guys are lacking here.
That's what I try to do on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Like,
this is what I try to do.
Hobbs and Maddie are like real quick.
This is what I usually try to do is hug that wall where I'm on because of because the angle is because there's only one slight angle. And I can put pressure on it from there.
I mean, you're probably where you were. I was just bubbling Rose from the pulse bombs to make sure that we didn't die.
Yeah.
So
and then when they walk in, they're right there in my face, and I can just left click.
Exactly, right? And that's what you're good at, and that's what the team wants to do more than anything, right? So we definitely play for those things.
Yarp.
So this fight is probably not going to be ideal. You guys are going to get pressured. So yeah, they easily get on your Tracer or your Curie because of that, and then you guys are kind of all over the place. You accidentally clump up as a group, so that's awesome. But then your Curie dies, and then the bomb kind of screws you over.
I think we made calls and grouped on that, and then we split there.
So it's very messy.
This is one of the places where I'm just lost and I don't know where you've gone, Hobbs.
Yeah.
Girl, you are fighting for your life, and I'm like, basketball.
So, I think if you guys something like a comms thing you guys can do is like we can kite back to our side of point, or like if shit is hitting the fan as a team, you guys can collectively agree. Whenever shit is hitting the fan, kite back to our side of the spawn. Just so you kind of have stability, right? Or have an idea of where people can meet up, right? So. I mean, I could look at this. This is a fucking dog fight, to say the least. But honestly, this gets very messy the way it does. Is because
I hesitated on that grab. I'm just annoyed with myself.
You wouldn't have been in that situation had you not played back here. So I'd be more worried about this than this. Because if you can avoid this is less likely to happen, right?
I agree. That's not why we lost the fight.
I get it. It sucks.
I hesitated.
Yeah. It's tilting. Kiri?
And then,
Yeah. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
So just takeaways from this, right? We kind of played this comp, and I think this was a great map to look at because you guys saw both sides of it. You saw it when they have a better rush comp, and you saw it when you have a better rush comp, right? When you have a better rush comp, you want to play fast, you want to put the pressure on them. When they have a better rush comp, you still want to put pressure on them, but it's not as aggressive, right? Because you want to force out their CDs. Because once you do that, then you're the team that becomes. Think about it this way: when they have their CDs, they're the better rush comp. But when they use their CDs and you have yours, you're the better rush comp. And when you're the better rush comp, you want to walk into them, right? So that's how you want to think about it. Here, you don't need to really think about CDs all that much. Just walk into them, don't pressure them out. And then just understanding everyone's individual roles. I can always do a one-on-one if anyone wants to. And any questions?
Yeah. I was just going to say, like, I feel like if you guys don't want to call it here, I am going to have to head out. I had a tournament match like an hour ago, like 2 hours ago, and I'm tired.
That's fine.
If you guys want to go over Perry, so if you three still have time, I might listen, but I will probably be playing a different game to relax.
No, you're chilling, man. You're chilling, bro. All right. Yeah. I'll probably say cut the VOD, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah. I think we just cut the VOD. But you're good to go, Zooey. We kind of went over everything. This was good.
I mean, like, the thing is, if you guys are going to stay here, I'll probably hang out in voice just to have people to talk to.
That's up to you.
Something to listen to, even if you're going to be like...
Okay, I will say this.
I mean, you could split the VOD though. Is I think the
Yeah,
point more.
I'll say this. Anyone that wants to leave at this point, including watching the VOD, you're good. I think there's a lot to take in from here. And I honestly think any more information you guys take is probably going to go out in here, out the other. And honestly, that probably happened a bit here. So that's okay as well if that did. I haven't bought it in a while, so this probably took a lot longer than it should have. So my bad on that. But yeah, I'm down to look at thing at whatchamacallit. Yeah. Yeah, so then Persia, right? So yeah. Before I do that, I'll just be right back. Just give me a second.